Yeah. There was supposed to be a shake.
Guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
You have that too?
Huh?
You have that too?
Yeah, this was for my mom. Alright. Badass time. In case you can't tell, I am getting out of work. It is 7:30. Let me turn my music back on. Woohoo! It's always weird working one day and then having 3 off because Memorial Day was yesterday and I wasn't working. So it's really weird. But yeah. Milkshake. Two cheeseburgers and a large fry. Oh my gosh, you guys. Guess what happened to me Friday? I became a VIP guest in my hospital's emergency room. Yeah! Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So, I worked Thursday and Friday last week, and Friday I was supposed to work from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. However, at noon I start getting this nagging pain in the right upper quadrant of my stomach. It started radiating to the left side and to my back. And being a nurse, you're like a hypochondriac. So I immediately started freaking the fuck out. Well, I guess that's not true. I didn't immediately start freaking out. It took a couple hours, but yeah. I thought at around noon that, hey, I haven't eaten yet today. Maybe if I go get some food, that might make me feel better. So I went down to the cafeteria. This was around 12:30. I got some lunch. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I got because you guys already know I'm a big bag. I don't need to confirm that. And it just got worse. And it was also one of the techs last day. It was her retirement. The last day she had before retirement. So we got cake. And of course I had to be there. This was at around 1 o'clock. My manager, she took us all into the break room where we sang happy retirement to my coworker. And we had cake. Normally I go pork and beans on a piece of cake. Especially the ones that are from Hannaford, which this one was. I had maybe 2 bites. And then I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna be sick. I was clearly in distress, like visually speaking. I was like in the break room. I was just like, I was pale. I was just, something ain't right. Went to the bathroom and nothing changed. So 1:30 comes around, and that's when we do our rounding. That's when like the providers and the case managers and we go in there and we discuss the plan of care for the patient and what's going to happen to them going forward. Like what are we doing for them? Why are they here? How long have they been here? And the stomach pain just would not go away. It was getting worse. I felt horrible. I felt sick. I felt like dog shit. And I say that all the time. Got out of rounds. Went to my corner where I had all my stuff, like in the little area where my patients are. And I just downpour because I was in so much pain. I texted my mom. She's like, hey, do you want... My dad had an appointment in the cancer center, which was right next door. And she was like, you want him to bring you some gas X or something? And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna cry over gas. Oh, it's just gas. Oh, you're a woman? It's just your period. But guess what? It's not. That was 2 weeks ago. I know what it is, and it ain't that. And then the coworker who's retiring, she came over. She gave me her watch, you guys. She gave me her watch, and I cried more. I think I have it. I think it's in my bag. And she said, because it's lavender purple, she said, now every time you wear lavender purple, you're going to think of me. And she was amazing. She worked on the floor for years. I think 20 years, I think. Since the floor first opened 19 years ago. I think it was 19 years ago when they finished building the wing that my floor is on. They started construction in 2003 and it ended in 2006. Anyways, she gave me a watch, and then I cried looking for my assistant nurse manager, the A&M, telling her, I don't know what to do. My stomach is hurting so bad. I'm sitting in her chair in her office, just hunched over like this, crying. And she's like, you need to go to employee health. She took my people. I only had 3, and 2 of them were being discharged. So I would have only had 1 patient. What else? So yeah, I went to employee health. The nurse said employee health. She took my vitals. She did all this stuff. She's like, da-da-da-da-da, where it's the pain, how would you rate it? And I gave it a 6. I gave it a 6 out of 10. And she said, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to consult the doctor, the employee health doctor, and then I'll be back to talk to you. So I sat in the room at employee health. I was waiting in that room for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. It wasn't very long. And she comes back and she says, okay, so this is what the doctor suggests. Either go to urgent care or you go downstairs to the emergency room. And of course, I don't want to go to the fucking emergency room at this hospital, because this is where I work. No nurse wants to be a patient at the hospital they work at. I was honestly, it was bad enough to where I was okay, I'll go to the emergency room. And the nurse said, yeah, you should, because why the fuck are we going 35, bitch? .55 zone and you're going 35, you cow. The nurse suggested that I go to the ER because urgent care is probably going to want to do imaging that needs to be done at the ER. So I decided, I was okay. At this point, my dad was on his way for his cancer treatment appointment, for his cancer center appointment, with a doctor that I work with, because I work in oncology. So he does his rounding on the floor sometimes, occasionally. And I saw his doctor literally a couple hours before this, and I was fine. So I'm on the floor, and I saw him at the bistro, and I was fine. And then Dad, when he got there, he told him, Sadie's in the ER. And the doctor's like, what? Sadie was fine. I just saw Sadie. She's fine. Anyways, I went to the ER. They checked me in. I checked in with security and stuff. About 3 minutes waiting. They triaged me. So I went to the ER at around 2:20. By 2:30, I was triaged. By, I want to say 2:40, I was on my way to ultrasound. So, yeah, a tech came. She grabbed a wheelchair. I've never ridden in a wheelchair as a patient. That's crazy. Oh, wait, yes, I have. When I got my wisdom teeth out, I did. But I was loopy then. I don't remember that. Oh my God, when I got my wisdom teeth out, I remember the nurse instructing me, okay, you're going to stand up and you're going to pivot onto the wheelchair. And I'm like, I'm a nurse. This is not my first rodeo. Let me do what I'm doing. I didn't say it that rudely, but I was like, I'm a nurse. This ain't my first rodeo. So anyways, they wheeled me to ultrasound. They did an ultrasound an abdominal ultrasound, right here. Went back out to the waiting area. About 15, 20 minutes goes by. It's about 3 o'clock, maybe. Nurse comes to get me. and brings me into a room. So I had been a patient for 40 minutes and I already had a room. That is impressive. For my hospital, that is really impressive. Because people tend to use the ER as a doctor's office, and you've got people waiting 2, 3, 4 hours to be put in a room. And I only waited about maybe 40 minutes. 40, 45 minutes. That's not bad for an ER. And I waited happily. I was just minding my business. There was a lady across the waiting room who had her bare feet sprawled against the chair next to her. I'm like, come on, other people are here for medical care and I don't want to see your dogs. But yeah, I went into the room, the nurse drew blood work, told her how my floor was, and I said, oh, it's kind of been a shit show lately, not gonna lie, I'm gonna be real with you. And here I am, 4 days later eating McDonald's. So they did the ultrasound. The ultrasound was negative for anything. They didn't see anything. They didn't see any like gallstones or kidney stones or anything. My jaw kind of hurt. But yeah, blood work came back negative for everything. Ultrasound came back negative for anything. You were thirsty. PA came in. My dad stopped to visit after his appointment. And he was there for about 20 minutes. And he said, are you sure I can go to Walmart? I have to go to Walmart. Are you sure you're okay with me going? I'm like, Dad, I'm a grown woman with a medical background. I can handle my own. I'm fine. He's like, but I'm worried that you'll be here all alone. And I'm just chilling on my phone in the recliner. I got a recliner and a bed, bitch. Well, it was a stretcher, but still, I got both. You don't get both, usually. A stretcher and a recliner? That's fancy. I got the good. I was in like the VIP section. It was fun. They discharged me because they didn't find anything. PA was just like, well, if your symptoms continue or they get worse, come back in and we'll do a further workup on you. They didn't ultrasound and blood work. They didn't do like urine tests or CAT scan or anything. Which I think a urine test probably would have been a good idea, considering the pain was radiating into the back. Like, you want to rule out like a kidney infection or UTI, which I didn't have any symptoms of, but still. Almost home. Potato stuck in between my teeth. That's gonna be the thumbnail. Y'all like my figs? Do you guys like the buttery yellow figs? This is one of the new colors. My glasses, I've got slick back. This is what I look like on a normal day at work. I look smart as fuck. Bozo. Alright. Oh my god. What the hell? Stop. Alright, I'm just about headed home. So, enjoy my dusty steering wheel, my chipped fingernails, glass glare. Yo, did you see the size of that guy's dick? Yo, impressing all the ladies with that one. You're so fucking cool. You know, part of me wanted to just you're not cool. You drive an Infiniti. That's just like a fancy Nissan. Nissans suck. Alright. I will see you guys in the next video. Found it. Found it. And of course, it's the best tasting one. Finally found his name. Give me a tall glass of him. My besties. Fucking rich kids.